item is 1,426. This is on 4,600 envelopes going out. Return response cannot be dealt with at a cheaper rate because that we're not doing enough. 4,600 isn't enough, so it would have to be at second class postage. So that would be 759 return rate based on an estimate of 1,380 returns. So the actual cost for all the Royal Mail and the outside printer is actually £3,280. Sorry.
Unless we get a real big response, and that would then be higher.
It would be higher, obviously. We've also obtained a quote from Stratford District Council. They will do the same thing, but they will process the questionnaires and supply a brief report to include all comments for a total sum of £3,066.
But that
they will
will
do
do
the analysis
and everything.
It basically means that we wouldn't have to touch any of it.
Okay.
It'd be totally independent. Okay.
We have two offers on the table, and ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the question is still whether we actually are going to go ahead with the consultation. But I think we need to make a decision of when we, if and when we do go for consultation, which one of those two we will go for. And I think it's fairly obvious that the only one that we can accept there is the District Council.
Have we not made the decision to go to a consultation?
No, Mr. Chairman, we haven't made the decision to go to a poll.
We made a decision to ask for a cost, didn't we?
Oh yes, we have a decision to ask for a cost.
Yes, yeah.
But we haven't made a decision to decide which cost, have we?
No.
Unless we made it, no.
We've made the decision to go for a poll, but we haven't made a decision to go for a
Yeah, I was going to say, we made the
yes,
decision
you're
to
correct.
consult.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
I know we haven't made a decision about which method we would use, but we definitely made the decision to consult.
Yes.
Okay.
Karen.
Can I just make a point that you yourself said on the 2nd of December that whatever whatever came out of the working party, any consultation had to take the same form, exactly the same form as it did the first time around. Now, I'm in agreement with that because, as far as I'm aware, the last time the burial rules were consulted over, it cost either very little or nothing. So I can't understand why we're proposing to spend 3,000.
I don't remember us saying that it had to take the exact same. I don't remember that ever saying it had to be exactly the same, because
No, it was
one of
said.
it
Paul
wasn't
said
Karen.
it.
Because,
Paul said, I've put it on video.
right. At the end of the day, Karen, there may have been whatever understanding you've taken out of that. At the end of the day, you were never happy with the original consultation, so it was always up for consideration how the next consultation would take place.
The reason we weren't happy with the original consultation is because it wasn't widely enough advertised, enough people didn't know about it. Even the people that were in disagreement with you at the time didn't know it was going on.
Exactly, so why would we say
Because we
that
would
we
make
wanted the
sure
exact same?
We would make sure that it was better advertised, that more people knew about
Okay.
it.
Can I just put a bit of clarity on this there? At present, we are all in agreement with the proposal that is on the table, with the question and the discussion that took place with the burial committee is coming up for us in a minute for us to confirm those minutes. But the format has been agreed of the consultation that we're going to go through. Is that everybody's agreed that so far, that we're all unanimous agreement with the way that is going to be moved forwards?
It's not. It's
No.
minutes. It's somewhere.
Yeah. It was a unanimous agreement.
No, I don't agree with that.
Well, you sat in here and you actually supported that motion. You put your hand up along with everybody else. It was a unanimous agreement.
I supported what I thought was a motion to find out what was the best way from Stratford. That was what I thought we were voting on.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say that I have no recollection of voting to say that we would hold a village poll.
No, I think that's on the burial committee minutes myself. I think I've read them in there.
So what we've actually done is we've approved the burial committee minutes, which then says that we have to have a village poll.
Yeah.
So the burial committee agreed to
Right.
have a village poll.
Right,
Agreement has been
You
reached by the
didn't
Burial
agree
Ground
with
Working
Ray,
Party
did
on the majority of the rules. Councillor Mrs Summer Brown reported that the exclusion of curbstones in the newer part of the cemetery was not an issue. Proposed Councillor Beeman, seconded Councillor Summers, voted unanimous that the matter now be put out for a full consultation with the residents of Studley, and the clerk would contact the electoral officer at Stratford for guidance on conducting the survey. Consideration would also be given to how best the views of non-residents for the plot in the cemetery could be taken into account. That was the 7th of July.
And that was a
and that was
unanimous vote.
unanimous decision.
To have a full consultation. But it
poll.
didn't say exactly how that was going to take place.
We did
It said
discuss
consult the
it,
electoral officer for guidance on conducting the
the
survey.
survey,
Yeah.
because that was, we definitely said that.
So is a survey
That was
the
part of the
only
discussion.
way of it being a full consultation? Is that the only way?
That's what's been decided.
Well, I've sat in, not on the burial committee, but I've sat in on a couple of meetings.
Yes.
And it's always been the intention to find a cheap and economical way of seeking the views of the public. And I think in no way was there ever any intention to spend sums in the region of £3,000 at all. I can't ever remember that being discussed at a...
I have said on numerous occasions in the past that if we need to go out to consultation, the cost will be thousands of pounds. I've said that right the way through, right from day one. And my argument has always been that we need to get around the table and discuss it and agree rather than have to go out to consultation. The last thing I want to do is inflict any expenditure on the council that is unnecessary. And I think that's one of the reasons why that letter has come from Julian Ingram. And again, he doesn't want to see this parish council spending £3,000, £4,000 on a consultation that we've already done once. The fact that a small minority of the residents in the village did not agree with the result of that consultation, and it is only a small minority of the residents in the village didn't agree with that consultation, can we then justify making the rest of the village pay for a survey? And that is the stage we are at. We have the cost. If we are going to have a consultation, that is the cost of the consultation. There isn't a cheaper way to do it.
You just said there that you've done the consultation once. What did that cost then? And what method was undertaken?
It went out to all the residents along with the... It was originally the start of the parish plan. When we started the neighbourhood plan, the parish plan, it went out together, and we had.
There was a Saturday morning, open morning, when the parish plan was put on display and the regulations were put on display as well.
Yeah. So
Why can't we just then do a similar thing and have a Saturday morning when residents are invited to come in and see the rules?
But the problem that, I don't
That
have a
was
problem with
adequate.
doing that. It was the fact that you did feel that that wasn't adequate. And that we were told that that wasn't adequate.
which is
Because
why
a lot of people didn't know about it.
No, I'm aware of that. Most of the people I've spoken to, they were not aware of it.
Nobody I know.
And can I just
knew
make
about
a
it.
comment, please, Chair? The new rules were voted in unanimously by the then Parish Council in 2014, without a proper consultation or survey involving the residents.
But we've just.
I don't need to go.
No,
No
no.
need
Well,
for
I'm not
action.
going to go over our old matters.
Yeah.
We, as a parish council, we
That's
are
all I want
elected
to know.
to make decisions on behalf of the parish.
But no one knew about it.
But people did know about it.
I'm
You
sorry,
knew about
I
it
didn't.
because you were one of the ones that asked for us to actually look at the regulations in the first place and be right on. Because you were unhappy with the regulations that we've got.
I did ask a council that was going into the meeting, and I didn't come to that meeting
So,
myself.
We are where we are, Sandra.
Well, I was just going to say that it's the only way that you'll get everybody in the village to know about this is to do a survey, and the housing survey as well. And that is the only way if you approach people directly, because you won't get a response. You want a response that gives everybody's point of view, and that is the only way you'll be able to do it, I think, by doing a survey.
That is the recommendation that's come from District Council. That they say that if you want to do a parish poll survey, whichever way it is, this is the way that for it to be valid. This is the way you need to do it.
Was said when you came in as a group before, so we can't be both. We can't be woefully inadequate and not spend money. So we've got to spend money now.
But I can assure you, it wouldn't be woefully inadequate.
Somebody said woefully inadequate.
Well, it may have been that time, but it certainly wouldn't be this time.
No, but I mean, we're going over old ground here. You can't have it. We've got to decide what we're going to do.
Yeah, Jim.
Could I just say, Mr. Chairman, that as I understood it, that the Working Party came to a full agreement apart from one item, and that was the solar price.
Yeah.
It would appear that we're going to spend £3,000 just to find out someone's opinion of of solar rights. We've been elected to make a decision, and I don't see why we can't make a decision. Either I would ask the Working Party to go back and look at considering some sort of criteria which enables them to make a decision, because I think trying to make a decision about one item, you will never come to an agreement. There will always be some for and some against. If you have a guideline as to what should be agreed and what shouldn't be agreed, it will direct you into making that decision. Colin knows I spoke to him some time ago, and we discussed, I put this sort of proposal to him. I'll push it across the table now. You could look at, and I'm not saying this is what you should look at, but I'm suggesting if you could consider, for instance, no artificial noise. So when you consider an item, does that item make artificial noise? Right. So you could say, right, there's no wind chimes, because that's designed to make artificial noise. Windmills, for instance, aren't designed to make a noise, they're designed to rotate. So you could therefore say yes. So there may be other items, so you don't become down to an individual item. And I think I would consider proposing that the Working Party goes back and looks at guidelines to help them make a decision.
Can I just, if I refer to the notes of the meeting the Borough Committee held on Monday the 20th of July. Item 6, discussion regarding survey poll. Proposed Councillor Brian Dixon, seconded Councillor Mrs Karen Summerbound, voting unanimous that consultation be by survey. You can't get more specific than that. That was your decision, not mine. That was the decision.
We actually said during that meeting that we did not want this to cost money.
You can't have it both ways. If you want democracy...
But Paul, it wasn't actually worded like that during the meeting. That may be the way it was minuted, but that wasn't actually the way it was worded, because that wasn't how it was put across to me.
Brian has stood here on several occasions and has said that it is essential that we have democracy, and democracy has to take place. Now, if you want this to be a democratic result and you actually want a poll that is representative of the whole of the village, the only way you do that is what you've agreed here, which is a parish survey. You can't do it any other way. If you put letters through somebody's doors, if you have a meeting here, you get 30 people turn up. Or you only get people that are dead against the regulations. You won't get everybody else turn up. So we are... Colin.
Well, I can say categorically it was never anyone's intention on the Burial Working Party to cost the council and ultimately the parishioners unnecessary money. And at that time, when that was agreed, there was no costs known. So they wouldn't know it was going to be such an astronomical amount. We've only just had the cost this evening, so I'm sure if you asked individually, they would all say they're in agreement, we don't want it costing an astronomical amount.
Is it time to take guidance from Mr Bacon? We reject this. Oh, I apologise.
Can I make a suggestion? Because we're going around in circles a bit.
Correct. I'm coming in there.
Adrian, then,
I'll come back to Jim's point. The first thing is that we are elected by the parish to make the decisions for the parish. That's why we're all here. We're now sending that decision out, it's going to cost something like £3,000. There's no way I would support spending £3,000 on a survey that talks about one element, or perhaps two, or perhaps three. I think that we need to go back to this burial committee, and I think that we need to come back to this table again with something that doesn't cost this parish £3,000 or anything like it. And I second Jim's proposal that happen.
I think that
Did you make a formal proposal?
Yeah. So we have a proposal, we have a seconder. Do we have any alternative proposals?
Can I just clarify the proposal that the burial working party and burial committee agree on the one outstanding
It'll
item?
be the burial committee. We don't. The working party is now gone. That's
Okay.
defunct.
The burial committee agrees on the one outstanding point, and all the other points that were in contention are agreed. I think they were.
Yes.
And then the rules are changed, and then we see if there's any response to that.
We
And
as
there's
a,
no cost.
we as a council, if we can get that agreement, and I am happy. Well, go to the vote in a minute. I think if we can get agreement on the table and agreed, then that is, we are in a position that we as a council can take that decision en masse, and whether it's unanimous or whether it's as long as it's a majority decision, that is the decision that will be implemented and the council will go ahead. I like Adrian, I am uncomfortable at spending over £3,000 on something that we've already done once.
Chair, just one more small point there. If you look at that in context, our friend who came this evening and spoke about the nature reserve. We're spending £3,000 on shuffling bits of paper around, and people like Robin there want to do something useful for the village, for us all to enjoy. And I think that £3,000 could go to elements such as that, perhaps the Christmas lights or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there's much better use for that.
We have a proposal on the table, we have a proposed seconder. All those in favour? Sorry.
Hang on. You've got a motion here to carry out a survey. You're going to have to rescind this motion, aren't you?
Yes.
Can I
Mr.
propose
Chairman.
that we'll put that in abeyance and give the burial committee a chance to come to agreement?
I'll second that.
We reject the
Outstanding item.
The survey.
we reject the survey.
So you
Not rejected, but
hold it, put it in
hold
abeyance
abeyance.
until give the burial committee a chance to reword, to relook at the
and
regulations
come to some agreement.
and reach a conclusion.
I'll second that.
I think when we've got costs in front of us, it will sharpen minds and actually. So that's proposal. That's second.
Can I just come in on this discussion a little bit and just say, is this council willing then to accept or to the decision that's taken by the burial committee, and can we ensure that if the burial committee meets to discuss the final issues and how we resolve it, to put a proposition, to come back to council with a proposition that won't cost us £3,000, can we have a burial committee consisting only of the burial committee members and not interested parties?
I think that's.
I'm asking for that because I feel that as a group we need to discuss, decide how we're going to deal with it without influences, possible influences from outside, from other people who aren't on that committee. You know, I don't want that distraction.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable request. And I would hope that
I don't know how
councillors-
anybody else feels
Yeah.
about that. I mean, normally we do have fairly open committees, as you all know.
I think you're going to more or less have a one topic agenda, aren't you?
Yes.
And so.
But I would like it to
Yeah.
be just the members of the burial
Yeah.
committee.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable request. Maureen?
Just reiterate that we will be using the results of the petition in our
you'll have that information, yes, you'll have that information for you by then, so yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
Even though it may be irrelevant,
Yeah.
if you seek agreement on this one point,
Yeah.
that could be irrelevant.
Right, so
But I wouldn't like to.
the item that we're discussing at present is the quote for cost of parish survey. The proposal is to put that in abeyance until such time as the parish, the burial committee has reached agreement on
Yes, to not make a
the
decision on
regulations.
it.
And depending on the outcome of that, then we may then decide not to go to the survey at all. Opposed, seconded, all those in favour?
So who proposed?
Sandra, seconded by Colin.
So it's, the proposal is to not make a decision on a survey until the burial committee has
Have met
Yeah.
and considered the final issue
Made proposal on finally an outstanding issue.
and brings.
Sorry, one at a time, I'll get confused. To
Sorry.
make a decision on a survey until the burial committee have met and considered the final issue.
The final outstanding issue, yeah.
Outstanding issue.
Um,
Well, there were more than one, because there were more than one.
there were several.
There were a couple. We've got 3 on the survey.
Three.
well, we'll discuss the issues.
It was down
Shall
to
we just
three.
put that we'll discuss the issues on the
Remaining
survey?
issues.
The questions on the survey.
Outstanding issue.
Outstanding issues.
Outstanding issues on the survey.
And bring their proposal to the next,
Their recommendation.
their recommendation to the next parish council meeting. Or the next parish council meeting after the burial.
Yes.
Might not actually be the next
Yeah.
parish council meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
does that make
I
sense? Do
think
you want to
we're
read
going to
that
lock
out
you in a
again
room
so that
until
we...
the smoke goes up
We
the
just
chimney,
confirm
like
that.
we choose the
To not
plan.
make a decision on a survey until burial committee have met and considered the final outstanding issues on
Not
the
letting you
survey
out till you've
and bring
decided.
their recommendations to the next parish council meeting after the burial committee meeting. The burial committee has met.
No, seconded, right, all those in favour? Just once more, just to clarify that. That's unanimous, thank you. Okay. Right, so we're all in agreement that that is our forwards and we're happy to move on.
Okay.
Okay. The next question I have to ask then, and this one, no, it'll wait actually, I'll wait this one. Combined Burial Authorities consultation. I hope everybody's had a look at this because this is something that actually could have big impact on councils right way across. It is, I just concerned if, depends what power gets evolved into a big body where you've got little boys like us that have got no chance of getting input into them. I don't know what other people feel. Anybody else had a more in?
I do feel that it could be very politically motivated and really not overrun, we would hand over the large influence of the controlling party in a very large